Hello everyone, my name is Kierstan Hywell and I am the gallery assistant here at the Wit Gallery located in Lenox, Massachusetts. This morning I have the pleasure of speaking with and sitting down with photographer Curt Rosner. So before we get into our little interview here, I'm just going to give you a quick little snapshot into Curt's life. So over the years, Curt has built a phenomenal career as a CPA, and eventually he turned to his childhood passion of photography. So going from a world of structure and precision and details and going to photography, that's a very different way of going. So we're going to explore his journey of how he takes numbers and images and how they have come together to create his remarkable career.
Well, thank you so much, Kierstan. Thank you. Those two spaces are not as far apart as you might think, and we'll talk about that. But first, before we do, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time today to have this conversation. And I want to thank Linda and Monica from the Wit Gallery. This is an amazing place. I'm surrounded by beautiful art and such talented artists. And it's truly flattering and humbling to be part of the Wit Gallery family of artists. So this is special for me.
Oh, well, that means a lot to us here, and we truly appreciate your kind words. We're so happy and honored to have you a part of the Wit Gallery here. So Curt, thank you again for sitting down with me. So you've had this fascinating career as a CPA on one side and then photography on the other. I'd just love to hear more about that. So how about we start with your story, how you went from CPA to photography?
Sure, but I think I'm going to do it a little in reverse.
That's okay.
So I got interested in photography when I was around 12.
Okay.
And my father had a Kodak camera and was always taking family pictures. He was a professional photographer, and I just found it interesting. So one day I asked him to teach me about the camera, show me how it works. And he did, and he loaded it with a roll of film, and he said, go take pictures. So I went out in the neighborhood and started snapping away. Kierstan, I was hooked. I was hooked right away. And the first few years of photographing was really spent on the technical aspects of photography because to me there are two aspects of photography. Technically, which is very, here it comes, numbers oriented, shutter speeds, f-stops, ISO. Back in the old day, it was the different film speeds, and if you pushed your film, you had to go through a formula to figure out how to develop the film in the darkroom. And those were the early years in photographing, learning the technical aspects of it. And eventually, it led to becoming a passion. And just a quick story, because I remember like it was yesterday, what really turned the hobby of photography into a passion, a lifelong passion at that. So I grew up in the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
And right near Asbury Park.
And that's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, and there is
places of inspiration, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and just a never-ending number of compositions and things to take photographs of. So I certainly enjoyed it thoroughly. But there was this one particular day I was driving over to Asbury Park Beach to take some pictures. And I passed a lake that was on the way. And it was a lake that I had passed maybe a million times before, right?
Yeah,
and it never really registered. But this one particular day, it struck me differently, and the air was completely still, the water was completely still and flat, and the lake was lined with these beautiful tall trees. There was a perfect reflection in the water, and it caught me. And it was, and it was almost an epiphany, I suppose. And I began photographing it. And I thought about this differently than I had thought before. when
Of course.
photographing. I wanted to make sure that the final picture reflected, quote unquote, what I was seeing. And I thought about it and I said, if I do this right, it'll be interesting because you can flip the picture either way and not tell which is up and which is down. So I did, and then I brought it up, I went home and I had a darkroom at the time, printed the picture, and my dad said, geez, that's really cool. Let me take it over to our neighbor. Now, it so happened that our neighbor was an editor for the Asbury Park Press.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence.
And, I don't know, the planets maybe just aligned properly, at least on that one day. So he loved it. He said, I'm going to have this printed in the Asbury Park Press.
Oh my goodness.
And it was printed in the Asbury Park Press. And I was probably 16, 17 at the time. That was a defining moment. That's when it became a lifelong passion.
That was your turning point.
My turning point. Now, looping back, you asked me about accounting and numbers and that side of the brain versus the creative side of the brain.
Yes.
I think maybe I was drawn to accounting from the photography because I learned how, that I was good with numbers.
Yes.
And as I said before, the technical aspect of photography means understanding numbers in different ways, in different places, and there's formulas to figure out different things and what have you. So I did become an accountant, and it was an amazing 46-year career.
Wow.
That
46 years.
I absolutely loved. But I never gave up the photography. And so maybe the photography was what pushed me in the direction of accounting, but accounting, there's so much in common with how I shoot. I photograph with intentionality, deliberately. And when I'm out on a location, I'm thinking a lot about what I want to capture, how I want to capture, what's the story I want to tell. And it just takes a lot of planning and organization.
Okay.
And this is in particular when I'm traveling around the world. I'm always planning in advance. Well, I get that from the accounting side. Very detail oriented, very thorough, very organized. Figuring out where I want to end up and how to get there. So the two worlds, like I said, aren't as far apart as one might think.
Yes.
And I think that the accounting has really helped me become a better photographer from that standpoint. And being able to tell my story. I like to say that accounting gave me a career, photography gave me a voice.
Oh, wow.
And
now, how powerful is that?
it's how I feel, and it's been an evolution, and I'm learning too. You're an artist yourself, and it's a journey. It's a creative journey, and it has no destination, and you constantly evolve.
That's what I was just about to say. It's just we're always evolving as people, and we never know where we're going to go. So it's always fun to see the evolution of our work over time and where we began and where we're going.
It's so true. It's so true, and I see such a difference in my work. Not necessarily in terms of quality of work, but what motivates me, what inspires me.
Yes.
What inspired me 5 years ago is very different than what inspires me today. And so it's been a fantastic process. Today when I'm out shooting, I'm thinking, getting back to what I was saying before, the organization, the detail, really paying attention to the details. It matters, I've learned, it matters what's inside the frame of the camera.
Exactly.
What do I want when I'm composing a shot, when I'm thinking about where I am. And actually, for me, the creative process begins not by putting the camera up to my eyes and taking pictures. It starts with me just looking around when I'm on location or I'm out in the field shooting, taking it all in. I've been blessed and had some wonderful opportunities to photograph in some amazing, amazing places. And I've never done anything different. I'll get to a place and I just look and I absorb, whether it's nature, whether it's a beautiful European city with old weathered buildings and cobblestone streets, taking it all in, looking at the details.
The small
and
little
how
pieces.
how do I project my feelings more than anything into the image? And that's the challenge, and that's what I think fuels my journey as a photographer is. And I think that's probably my most important objective, is to share the experience with the person that's ultimately going to view the image. I want to share the feelings that I'm feeling wherever it is that I'm shooting, and share the experience. It's not just about taking a pretty picture of a sunrise and having somebody look at it.
Yeah, you want them to feel exactly what you're feeling in that moment, like they're standing right where you are.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly.
a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
And I'd like to just maybe go back just a little bit.
Sure.
So you said that you plan everything, you have a preconceived notion of what you're going to shoot. Is there ever really a time where you are just like, oh my goodness, I need my camera, I need to shoot this right now? Or are you just all about planning and you have an idea of what you're going to do?
Kierstan, you asked me a great question. Great question. So planning is a very important part of creating for me. But there's a big but coming.
There's always a but.
When serendipity enters into the creative process, magic happens. Magic. Give you an example.
Okay.
The Wit Gallery took on one of my pieces called Rooftop Graffiti.
Yes.
I'm sure you remember that one. And
Very familiar.
it recently sold to a
Congratulations.
collector, and congratulations to a new collector. So let me tell you the backstory to that photograph, and it'll answer your question.
Sure.
I had this shot that I wanted so badly I could taste it. It's in New York City, Lower Manhattan. I wanted a shot of the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, late afternoon as the sun was going down and the lights on the buildings in Lower Manhattan were coming on. And I was hoping for a beautiful sky during the blue hour, and I had, this vision in my head, which I often do. So I have the camera backpack and my tripod with me, and I'm walking across the Manhattan Bridge because I'm shooting from the Manhattan Bridge.
Okay.
Now I had never done this before, I had never been to this, walked across the Manhattan Bridge. And as I'm walking across the bridge, all of a sudden to my right, before I got over the East River, I look, and there's this neighborhood with these buildings with graffiti all over, as you remember, as you recall. And I'm thinking, where in the world did this come from? This wasn't planned.
No.
I didn't see this in any of my planning and any of my research. So serendipity hit. And I kind of have this photo. I just feel there's something here that I want to create and I want to share. The graffiti was pervasive, if you remember the piece. And as I was looking at, I first looked at what I had in front of me, and I was amazed by the different emotions I was feeling just looking at this area with all the graffiti. I saw pain, I saw hope, hunger, wonder, all kinds of things. And I said, oh my goodness, forget the other shot. This is really what I came for. And then I was struggling to photograph it because there's a chain link fence that goes across the pedestrian walk, so nobody falls over. And wouldn't you know it, there must have been another photographer before me that had the same idea. He cut a hole in the chain link fence. So it just was perfect, and I could barely fit my lens through there, but I did.
Again,
and
all the stars aligned for
it
you
just
to
aligned.
shoot that one spot.
So the answer to the question is, even though I plan as much as I do, I've learned to always expect the unexpected.
And that's a wonderful lesson.
And the same thing, actually, the same story is with the other piece that you carried that was sold as well, Innocence of Youth, with the young girl skipping in Verano, Italy, down the street, and that is one of my favorite pictures, and that also was completely unplanned. I could never have planned for this young girl, and it wasn't set up either.
No.
I could have never planned for this girl in this beautiful, flowy blue dress, skipping down the alleyway with a beautiful bugle. Yeah, colors, right.
It's just perfect, and that's one of my favorite photographs of yours.
Oh,
it's just a happy.
Thank you. It is. And the other thing, when I have that piece in my home as well, because it is one of my favorites, and just off track a little bit. You know, one of the messages of that piece is to show not only the innocence of youth, which I think it does,
Definitely.
but also I was thinking at the time actually as I was shooting it happened so quickly, I just had to rattle off as many pictures as I could get because she was on her way. But when I thought about it afterwards, you know, what came to mind was, here's this young girl with a blank slate. Her life is a blank slate, a blank canvas, and so many stories yet to be told. And it made me think about my own life, and when I was that age, could I have ever anticipated the life experiences that I've had?
Of course,
and all those kinds of things. So, you know, there's just...
It definitely brings you back to that childhood place.
It does, and that's, to me, the beauty of photography, is how it speaks to me, and I try the best I can to have that show in my work, when I finish a photograph.
Yeah, and that's just a beautiful thing. You just capture what you see in the moment, and you just want to communicate how you feel to the viewer.
Yeah,
And
and it could be a challenge. It's
definitely, I can imagine.
a lot of, there's thought and creativity, and but it's the beauty. Funny story, but I'm digressing a little bit, but I like to say that in the 46 years I was a CPA preparing tax returns, I prepared thousands of returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had wonderful, wonderful clients, and I connected with clients in a different way than I connect with clients now.
Of course.
With photography. But in the 46 years in all the tax returns I did, never once, not even once, did a client say, boy, Kurt, I really connected with that tax return.
I'm sure most people don't connect with their tax returns.
No, not at all. Yet, when it comes to a photograph, most of the time somebody comes to me to acquire a photograph. They tell me, I just really connected with this. It resonates with me because it brought back a memory of that place that I was at, or it just makes me feel so good and happy, or it gives me hope, or it's something. And
that
then
feeling must be
then
just indescribable.
it is incredibly rewarding, and it's something that I cherish, and I'm thankful for, that I'm able to create art that people do enjoy, and you know, it resonates with people, and it is, and it's what keeps me going as an artist.
And it's just such a wonderful thing that you enjoy creating, and it's just magnificent, and how you just want to communicate that to the world.
Well, you know, the world is filled with beautiful things, and I've had some beautiful experiences. I've been fortunate to be able to travel to some remote, interesting places, and I just enjoy sharing it to the best of my ability. Share it with those that also have a like interest and maybe aren't able to get to some of those places, or just love the fact that it's bringing back a good memory. So.
Oh, definitely. And I think I have one more question for you. So what do you hope people take away from your photographs? 100 years from now, what do you hope people just take away from your work? What's the legacy you want to leave?
It goes back to, I think, what we were just talking about. My intention in my work is to find the uncommon in the common. And I want to scratch below the surface. I don't want to just take a picture of a street photography and let that be that. I want the photograph to reflect what gives that place life, the essence of a place. What gives it life? What kind of spirit is there? How do people, if it's in a city, in street photography, how do people relate to their city? If it's a beautiful landscape, how do I make the photograph in such a way that it'll give somebody an aha moment?
Of course.
And that's what I want them to take away from it. I want them to see the uncommon in the common. I want them to feel that there's more there than what they may have thought. I want them to feel what I felt, or even have their own feelings about a photograph that makes them feel good, gives them hope, gives them courage, gives them even emotional support if they're going through a difficult time, is inspiring in some way. And if I can accomplish that, even in a small way, then I've met my goal as an artist, I feel. Because that's what art does for people. It feeds the soul.
It does.
And it gives you strength, it gives you support, it gives you inspiration, motivation. And not just my art, but all art.
And that's something we believe in here as well. I mean, we have a quote right on our front wall that says, "Art is the greatest form of hope," and that's truly
Oh, I didn't say that, okay.
It's truly what
I didn't steal it from you.
No, it's just truly what we believe in here. Art is the hope of the world. We love it.
I agree, and again, I'm just so thankful that you have a number of my pieces, and I'm very flattered and humbled by it.
And we're just so thankful to have a wonderful photographer to be a part of the Wit Gallery here with us. And
thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much for sitting down with us today and discussing your photography and your career. It was very interesting, and you are wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And it's just such a pleasure to have you here with us.
Well, doesn't get much nicer than the Berkshires, does it?
No, I'm a little biased, but I love the Berkshires. It's the best place.
That's great. Thanks
Thank you
so
so much, Kurt.
Okay.